Peace, family. When I tell you this American government is the dumbest government on the face of the planet, don't doubt me for 1 second. Just take a look at what they're trying to do in Alabama.
Well, at least two schools in Alabama are testing out rapid deploy gun shelter safe rooms. Here's the video to show you what it looks like. It shows a dry erase whiteboard. It folds out, takes about 10 seconds. Once expanded, it reportedly locks from the inside, and it claims to protect against rifle caliber bullets. Look at that. Now, the makers of this wall say it's meant to guard students against school shootings or severe weather threats. Joining us now, staff writer, the motherboard at Vice, Matthew Galt. Matthew, we could look at that video over and over again, but in fact, let's do that and describe what you understand of what I'll call it, this device, this technology is. What are we seeing?
So this is a rapid deployment safe room. It sits in the corner of the classroom. It's got a whiteboard on it, so it can be used during normal class time. But then in the case of a severe weather event or an active shooter situation, the company claims a child as young as 4 can go in the middle, grab that metal handle, pull it out, and convert it into a panic room. You'll notice the door for the space for the door there on the side.
Yeah.
The idea is the children then go into that room and then can shut it, and there's no handle and no locking mechanism on the outside, and the kids are able to leave once the school is safe again.
And there's
Can you imagine your children's life depending on a 4-year-old pulling that thing closed? You sending your kids to school, and just in case a gunman show up and no adult there, a 4-year-old can do it. As opposed to passing legislation and laws to prevent these psychos from getting these weapons in the first place, they rather invest in this, where there is no consistent intelligence leadership in this government. This is fly by the seat of your pants. These guys don't have a clue as to what they're doing. They're making this stuff up as you go along, and our children, our communities is just at risk. But let's proceed.
As young as 4 can go in the middle, grab that metal handle, pull it out, and convert it into a panic room. You'll notice the door for the space for the door there on the side.
Yeah.
The idea is the children then go into that room and then can shut it, and there's no handle and no locking mechanism on the outside, and the kids are able to leave once the school is safe again.
And they're showing a student even trying this, it appears. I can't tell. It's from back, or maybe that's a teacher. But about 10 by 10 feet, I guess, and able to hold all the students if you had a 35 to 40 student classroom?
Yes, that's correct. It would be tight in there, but they could all get inside there. And yes, the company again claims that a child as young as 4 can pull this out.
You hear this, fool? This space, that when this smart board is pulled out, it's 10 by 10. And you could have children, maybe 25 to 30, 40 kids in the classroom. And they're all supposed to fit into a 10 by 10 room, while some lunatic is sitting outside shooting assault rifles, assault weapons at this board. Can you imagine how cramped that's going to be? Can you imagine the stench? You got some lunatic trying to kill everybody in the room, and you got 25, 40 students in there terrified to death. No ventilation. But that's not the dumbest part. Listen to this.
Again claims that a child as young as 4 can pull this out and make use of it.
What's the cost of this, and is the plan to implement this all across Alabama and potentially other states that are interested?
I would say that it's in an early deployment stage at the moment. When we talked to the founder of KT Outdoors, who manufactures this, he was a little cagey on exactly what it costs. These two that are deployed in Alabama elementary schools cost $60,000 apiece. He says that if they scale up, they can get that cost down, and that his goal is to get these deployed into 1 million American classrooms as quickly as possible.
Did you see how small that room was? Imagine 25, 15, 30 kids bundled up in there, and at $60,000 a piece. And they're trying to get it to scale the cost down by putting them in 1 million classrooms. Even if you cut the cost in half and you put them in 1 million classrooms, that's $30 billion. Where in the F is this government, the people, going to get $30 billion to put these smart boards in there? $30 billion. You rather spend that than to pass legislation. Let's wait for the final. Watch this.
His goal is to get these deployed into 1 million American classrooms as quickly as possible.
It appears that there was a larger and a smaller one. I can't tell in the pictures, but just looking at that really quickly.
They're made to order.
They're made to order. Okay, so the size that you would like. Now, the big question, unfortunately, in our reporting, most often the weapon that is used in these shootings, AR-15s, rifles, can they protect against that?
The footage that KT Outdoors has shown shows it stopping an AK-47 round. If it can, in fact, stop an AK-47 round, it can stop an AR-15 round.
And what's been the reaction to this?
The reaction, I would say, on social media has been bad, but from the local community, the people of Alabama, the school teachers, the administrators, and local politicians, has been positive. People like this. People feel that schools are not safe, and it's a visceral fear. And people feel like political solutions aren't imminent, that gun culture in this country is not going to change, and that the solution is to harden the schools, to make them fortresses, to deploy these kinds of things.
Matthew Gault, just looking at this video and you and I going through the details really is a sign of the ugly times, and thank you for reporting on this for Vice News. Appreciate your time today.
With children's lives at stake, and this guy's on national television pitching this idea, did he sound in the slightest bit confident that this board will do what it's claimed to do? Did he sound confident at all? And then on top of that, you can get them made to order. So what if the classroom is larger? Are 4-year-olds still going to be able to pull it? If this is not a definite sign for black people to wake up and start doing what we need to do to get about the business of building our own independent businesses, industries, and institutions, we cannot be governed by these idiots. I don't care what Alabama said, it's okay. This is not okay. Nobody is sending their kids to school to have them be able to be attacked by these so-called crazy lunatics that the government allows them to purchase military weapons at the age of 14 and then put the cost on the people to pay for this stuff. This I'm at a loss for freaking words. This is sad. And it's almost funny that we can allow society to get this bad, and now one of these so-called black leaders is talking about building their own. We're following these guys, and our children's lives are at stake. And instead of figuring out how we could do something better for ourselves, we riding right along with these fools. But until we get new leadership, we have to be stuck with what we got now, and this is terrible. But I'm gonna end this video here. And if you like this video, if you like this content, and if you like this pressure that I put on our oppressor, put a little pressure on that follow, subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.